There's one small sentence in the story that's so easy to read past. Then the woman left her water jar and went back to the town. She left her jar. She walked a mile in the noon heat for that water. The jar is the entire reason she came. And now she just sits down and forgets it. Why would anyone walk away from the very thing they came for? Because she found a spring. And you don't carry buckets to a spring. That clay jar is her whole old life. The hauling, the managing, the going back again and again to a well that never once satisfied her. And surrender in this story isn't some grand dramatic crisis. It's just a tired woman setting down a heavy jar because suddenly she doesn't need it anymore. And that's what living water does. When you finally find the source, the striving just falls out of your hands. And then you look where she runs. Back to the town. Back to the very people she's been avoiding at noon. The woman who came alone, hiding, head down, now runs straight at the crowd, calling out, "Come see the man who told me everything I ever did. Could this be the Messiah?" Watch what's happened to her heart. The restlessness is gone. The jealousy, the comparing, the noon isolation is replaced by running and joy and invitation. Her wound has become her witness. Remember what Jesus told her earlier? True worshippers worship in spirit and in truth. And this is exactly what that looks like, lived out in truth. She stops hiding. She stops curating, tells the whole story in spirit. It pours out of her like a spring inside of her now. Not a performance that she has to keep hauling up from a deep well. That's worship finally put right. And it doesn't make her smaller and more careful. It makes her free. So to bring it home, what you worship shapes your heart, and your heart shapes your life. She worshipped acceptance, and it shaped a heart that hit at noon. She met the one who accepted her first, and it shaped a heart that ran to the town. And John tells us the whole village came out to meet Jesus because one woman set down her jar. So here are the two questions to carry out of here. What's the jar you're still hauling? The striving you can't seem to put down and the thing you keep going back for? And what's the well you keep returning to? The one that's never once filled you up? Because friends, it's noon. The well is empty of people and he is still sitting there asking you for a drink, which has always been his way of offering you everything. Today, leave the jar.